what I've begun.
Oh yeah, loads more dragons.
It is called House of the Dragon.
It feels like there's a lot of pressure to be back for season 2.
Yeah, it is nerve-wracking, but very quickly, it's like a deep familiarity, right? Like we've never been away.
It's good to be back in the saddle.
It's so much bigger this year. It's times 10.
I noticed rapid expansion of the physical set.
You can walk all the way down.
There's more of a sense of the world, more of a sense of the kingdoms.
There are experts in every corner of the room, and we're all working as a team to make something pretty spectacular.
We'll do the first season justice, I hope.
We've really tried to push it up a notch.
Season 2, there is a war brewing. We were excited to get into it because this is the juicy part of the drama.
The Dance of the Dragons is fully kicked off.
The tension is bubbling with armies being raised and alliances being formed.
There are two warring factions, the Blacks and the Greens. Both are convinced of how right their claim is.
Both sides have dragons. These stakes keep going up and up and up.
It is a very emotional and very intense ride.
Nuclear is the way I'd describe it.
Green or black? Is that a joke question?
Green it up.
Blacks.
Team Green it is for me.
I will never, ever concede. I'm coming for each and every one of them.
It could go either way.
Support your side, support your side.
We shall see who the last man standing is.
Come to my door and see what happens.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. House of the Dragon released a new Season 2 trailer with a bunch of new footage, Easter eggs, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, I'm doing videos for all the episodes just like Season 1, so be sure to subscribe to get them. As they say during the trailer footage, this is where like the really juicy stuff winds up happening because the actual Dance of the Dragons begins, and most of the footage they provide shows you context for some of the big battles that they fight. The actors also just went to CCXP and talked a little bit about what's happening with the characters at the beginning of Season 2, like Season 2 Episode 1, so I'll explain that during the video too. But basically they explain that when Season 2 Episode 1 picks up, it's been 10 days approximately since the end of Season 1 Episode 10 ended. This scene of Rhaenyra on the beach looking all dirty on Dragonstone actually is from Episode 1, and the idea is that she spent that entire 10 days flying around on Syrax, not doing anything, not even resting, looking for Lucerys' body. And I believe they said that on the 10th day, she finally flies to Storm's End. They eventually do wind up finding his body because they burn it during the events of what seemed like Episode 2, like this is his body on the funeral pyre, R.I.P. The actor who plays Aemond was also at CCXP. He talked a little bit about his character too at the beginning of Season 2, and he confirmed some of the memes, like everybody was talking about how he was going to deal with this when he went back to King's Landing. Would he tell them what he did, or would he try to pass it off as an accident? Help me, mommy, I may have started a giant war. As the rest of the Green Council kind of looks at each other dumbfounded, like, okay, maybe we just break for lunch for a little while. Speaking of which, thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video and keeping me from dying of hunger. Everyone always asks me how I'm able to do so many videos, and the secret is that I have 6 clones. But really, there's no way I have time to cook meals. I love to cook, but there is no way I'd be able to work on half-hour-long breakdown videos of X-Men episodes or a full breakdown of all the Easter eggs and references in a movie and still have time to cook all my food. So if you're like me and you have absolutely zero free time because of work or school, or you have a big family you're busy taking care of, Factor is the solution. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers to your door so you can enjoy chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals minus the hassle. Plus, with 34 meals per week with Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart Vegan, Veggie, and 36 plus weekly add-ons, you'll have plenty of nutritious, flavorful options to choose from. We all know how busy things can get, and Factor's fresh frozen meals make it easy to fill up fast when you're on the go, and you can save a ton of time with meals ready to heat in just 2 minutes. Factor has everything I need for a week of flavorful, nutritious eats. In addition to ready-to-eat meals, they have cold-pressed juices, smoothie, energy bites, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep me energized while I'm trying to keep up with all the episodes and movies that I'm making videos for. So head to factor75.com, click the link below, and use the code EmergencyAwesome50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code EmergencyAwesome50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. But when Aemon and Vhagar killed Lucerys, the way the actor put it, he didn't actually mean to do that in the moment. Like, it was genuinely meant to be an accident. But in that moment, he senses that there are two different directions that he can go with this. He can actually say that it was an accident to the rest of the Green Council, his mother Alicent, everybody else, or he could own it and claim that he meant to kill Lucerys and actually start the Dance of the Dragons conflict. Even though most people, when they think of Aemon, they just think about the way that Aemon has been hyping up his battle with Daemon during all the trailer footage. Like, he seems obsessed with fighting Daemon on Dragonback. That'll eventually happen, but maybe not till like season 4. But if you remember during season 1 after the time jump, they kind of got into his personality and how, as he'd grown older, he became obsessed with fighting in wars, doing great deeds, becoming this great warrior. And part of the idea is that Daemon has already done that, like he's viewed as being a great warrior. So Aemon is obsessed with fighting him to prove to everyone what an amazing warrior he is. Starting at some of the other trailer footage here too, like at the beginning here, even though Alicent is talking happily, like, yay, we're happy to be back and filming, she's actually wearing a mourning veil. Like, they're in the middle of having a funeral procession here. So like something really sad is happening, even though she sounds really happy when she's talking about it. That'll probably happen in episode 2. The vast majority of the scenes of Rhaenyra here are all her inside and around Dragonstone, with a few exceptions. Love Matt Smith's back in the saddle comment too, because that's one of the big changes with House of the Dragon from the Game of Thrones series, is the fact that everybody is using dragon saddles, because riding dragons during that period in history was way more common. You have to remember that when Daenerys came along during the events of the main show, there had been no dragons flying around that people knew about for a long time, so there had been no need for dragon saddles. These banners actually seem like a slightly different looking version of House Celtigar. These are what they were depicted as looking like before. They might have just changed that for House of the Dragon. Fun fact too, House Celtigar is one of the few houses in Westeros that actually do have some Valyrian blood in them, but they didn't have any dragons. These are Corlys Velaryon ships. It seems like we'll get some more scenes at sea, but I think they may have saved the Battle of the Gullet for season 3 just because they cut the episodes short. There are only 8 instead of 10 this season, and I think that's just because of the timing of when the Battle at the Gullet happens relative to the Battle at Rook's Rest. Like, it happens pretty soon after that. You have to remember that the Dance of the Dragons that they're in the middle of right now takes place over a relatively short period. And the big thing with the Battle of the Gullet is that it's meant to be the bloodiest sea battle in the history of Westeros, even in present day during the events of the original show. So I think they wanted to turn that into like a really huge battle, like really, really big, and that's why they saved it for season 3. Like, okay, this is going to cost us way more money and we want to spend way more time on it, so we'll just push it to season 3. If you remember, the big WTF battle that happened at the end of Game of Thrones season 2 was the Battle of Blackwater Bay. Really big water-based battle. This might be Rhaenyra meeting some of the dragon seeds of the beach at Dragonstone. We get our first look at some knights from House Arryn in the Vale. This is what Jane Arryn looks like during season 2. They were on their way to meet her at the end of season 1 to secure her loyalty during the war. She's way more sympathetic to Rhaenyra for a couple different reasons. One, because she also hates the old ways, so to speak, the traditional uptight vibe of the Greens and Alicent Hightower. In the books, it was believed that she was secretly lesbian and had a lover, Jessamyn Redfort, while she ruled over House Arryn. And Alicent and the Greens wouldn't have liked that. They would have made her get rid of her lover and get a husband pronto. And probably more relevant, number 2 reason why she supports Rhaenyra is because Rhaenyra's mother, Aemma, came from House Arryn, so she's much more closely related to Rhaenyra by blood. Also notice in this same shot here too, like just pan over to the left, there's a banner for House Frey. And it seems like they're actually at the Twins. The reason why they would be there is because Rhaenyra and Daemon would want to control the Riverlands to box in the Greens, and House Frey historically controlled the Twins. At the end of season 1, they were also talking about sending people to the Riverlands to secure the loyalty of everyone there. All this footage of Criston Cole in the woods with the dragon roaring in the sky is from the battle at Rook's Rest, like I said, around the middle of the season. This is basically the rest of their army marching out of the woods into the actual battle itself. This scene seems like Aemond inside the Red Keep. It is totally weird seeing this behind-the-scenes footage where he has both eyes. This procession is meant to be after the battle at Rook's Rest. I don't want to get too deep into it because it is kind of spoiler if you talk too much about it, but I think this is meant to be either episode 5 or episode 6, whichever episode is after the battle at Rook's Rest. They've returned to King's Landing. Here's another really, really big detail. So many people were talking about this particular moment when this trailer came out a little while ago. Rhaenyra holding what looks like a new Valyrian sword. So here's the thing, big changes that they're making with House of the Dragon. No big surprise, they said they were changing things during season 1. We already saw some of the changes. During the original book story, Rhaenyra didn't really get involved in any actual fighting, like she wasn't part of any big dragon battles in the sky, she wasn't part of any land battles, anything like that. She spent most of the actual Dance of the Dragons laid up after her miscarriage during season 1. Based on the original book timeline, she would have wound up having to sit around at Dragonstone doing absolutely nothing at all until the very end of the show, till like season 4. So that is one of the big changes they made. They're going to have Rhaenyra actually participate in some of the fighting at some point. But here's the other thing too, there is no book evidence that Rhaenyra ever actually wielded a Valyrian steel sword or was given one at any point. This scene looks like it's meant to be happening at Dragonstone. The helmets on the table belong to House Velaryon, Corlys Velaryon's men. So there are a couple ways that they could explain this and which Valyrian steel sword she might be wielding here. There were only 2 Valyrian steel swords that House Targaryen had in the present day of House of the Dragon, and that's Blackfire, which is wielded by Aegon right now, and Dark Sister, which Daemon has. All the other known Valyrian steel swords belong to other houses, like House Hightower has their own Valyrian steel sword called Vigilance, but it'd actually be in the possession of Otto Hightower's older brother who's ruling over their house back at Oldtown. Aemond, for example, does not have a Valyrian steel sword, he just has a regular sword. I am sure he would love to kill Daemon and take Dark Sister. I tried to look at all the hilts of the known Valyrian steel swords on the show and the stuff in the books that we haven't seen on any of the shows in live action yet, and none of the hilts look like this. So it's totally possible that George R. R. Martin just wrote in a new Valyrian steel sword for Rhaenyra to have that he didn't include in the previous books. You can let me know in the comments, which Valyrian steel sword do you think that Rhaenyra has here? If there's any other Easter eggs or big references that you spotted during this new footage that I didn't talk about during the video, just write it below in the comments. If you have any special requests for bonus videos, just let me know in the comments too. We're almost there, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of the videos. Everybody click here for all those other brand new House of the Dragon Season 2 trailers, and click here to learn why HBO canceled that Game of Thrones Jon Snow sequel series. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.